first.
Yeah.
It's not bad now, but the summertime is miserable.
Turn this way, though, the flag's over here. Yeah.
This is We Blow Troop 3338. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you're going to be here to lead us in the stars in the Pledge of Allegiance to our nation's flag. So if you will turn around and face the flag right here, we'll have it. Ready, fellas? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, would you each identify yourselves? We'll start with you.
Blaze.
Blade?
Blaze.
Speak up, fellas, real loud.
Outside voices.
Big Cloud, give your first and your last name.
Better do what he says. See how big he is?
Last name.
Blaze shoots.
That's it.
Reed Sherman.
Good.
Johnny Saudet. Carter Weedman. Pepper Cruz. Tyler Wilson.
Good. Now, We Blow is the first step in the scouting. What will that lead to?
This is actually the final step in scouting.
Final.
There's some that are first year Webelos and some that are second year. Second year are going to be transitioning this spring to go into Boy Scouts.
Good.
So they're the older part of the Cub Scout pack.
Well, maybe you'll come back again.
They're
We
taking on
hope.
some new roles, so these are steps.
Good. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, fellas.
Guys,
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Would the clerk now conduct the roll call, please?
Heidi,
Here.
Clinker,
Here.
Nargi. Here. Reynolds.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Allersmeyer.
Here.
Williamson.
Here.
Downing.
Here.
Campbell.
Here.
Quorum present.
We will approve the meetings or the minutes of the three meetings that we have had on October the 7th, October the 10th, and October the 23rd. And if we'll entertain first a motion.
I move to
Thank you.
approve the minutes.
Mr. Heidi.
Second.
We'll take a voice vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. Presentation and disposal of claims.
There are none.
Presentation of petitions and communications.
There are none.
Reports of city offices.
Fleet maintenance monthly September, police department monthly September, renew department monthly September, waterworks department monthly September.
All those reports are on file in the clerk's office for your examination during regular business hours. Ordinances for second reading.
There are none.
Ordinances for first reading.
There are none.
Resolutions. Resolution 2019-19.
A resolution setting the 2020 Common Council calendar of meetings.
What's the pleasure of Mrs. Nargi?
I move that we hear and approve Resolution 2019-19.
I second.
Second. Discussion about this resolution.
Okay.
Anybody like to make a comment about it?
Nope, I think we're
Okay.
good. We vetted this through the holidays, and you'll see some of the meetings are, I think there's one on a Tuesday due to Labor Day, so that's worked out in the past, so we're just going to kind of continue that tradition that we've been doing, so.
Anybody have any questions or comments about the dates of meetings for next year?
Okay.
There being none, would the clerk then conduct a roll call vote on Resolution 2019-19?
Heidi,
Aye.
Clinker,
Aye.
Nargi,
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Resolution passes 8-0.
Resolution 2019-20.
A resolution of the Common Council of the City of Lafayette, Indiana, authorizing the participation of said city in the motor fuel budgeting program of the Indiana Bond Bank for the 2020 budget year, the execution of the qualified entity reimbursement agreement in the connection therewith, and other related manners.
Mr. Brown.
Mr. President, I move that we hear and approve Resolution 2019-20.
Second.
Okay.
Discussion by this. Yes, sir.
Tim Clary, City Controller. Ladies and gentlemen of the council, this is the 2020 Fuel Budgeting Program request for your approval. The city has participated in the Indiana Bond Bank Fuel Hedge Program for many, many years. This program is designed to protect the city in case the price of unleaded or diesel and/or diesel fuel would skyrocket in the year 2020. We hedge 80%, which is the most allowed by Indiana code. We anticipate the city using 392,000 gallons of fuel in 2020. So our hedge for unleaded is 196,000 gallons, and then for diesel would be 117,600 gallons. This program has worked very well for us. There is a procedure that happens towards the end of November where a ceiling and a floor is established by Maverick Energy, who works with the Indiana Bond Bank. If the price of the fuel exceeds the ceiling, we go ahead and pay that amount, and then we get reimbursement. If the price that we pay is less than the floor, we pay that amount, and then we owe additional money for that. Said 1 nickel is the amount that is the administrative fee per gallon, and this has been a good insurance policy for the city over the years, and I respectfully ask for your approval.
Any questions of Mr. Clary? There being none, thank you. Any questions by members of the audience of Mr. Clary concerning this bank? There being none, would the clerk then conduct a roll call vote on Resolution 2019-20?
Heidi?
Aye.
Clinker?
Aye.
Nargi?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Allersmeyer?
Aye.
Williamson?
Aye.
Downing?
Aye.
Resolution passes 8-0.
Thank you. Resolution 2019-21.
A resolution of the Common Council of the City of Lafayette, Indiana, approving and authorizing certain actions and proceedings with respect to certain proposed economic development revenue bonds and related matters.
Yes, ma'am.
I move we hear and approve Resolution 2019-21.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded. Comments by members of the audience?
Well, Mr. President, this is an inducement resolution for an economic development revenue bond for improvements to the Briarwood apartment complex. Tyler Kolechnik is the attorney for Briarwood, and he's going to give us just a brief presentation so that we have a full understanding of the economic development bond procedures and the fact that we are merely a conduit and don't have any obligations. And then I think he's got a representative of Briarwood to talk about just briefly about some of the improvements they plan on making. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President, council members. As Mr. Chosnick said, I'm Tyler Kolachnik. I'm an attorney with Ice Miller, and we are acting as bond counsel. The resolution before you this evening is a preliminary or inducement resolution that really serves two purposes for this project. One, it has a federal tax implication, which would allow the borrower here to be able to reimburse expenses that are being paid up to 60 days before the date of adoption of this resolution. But more importantly, a inducement resolution is a requirement to submit for tax credits and bond volume, which is authority to issue these bonds to the Indiana Housing Community Development Authority. So approval tonight would allow that application to move forward. The Indiana Housing Authority then underwrites the deal, reviews the application, usually in a 60 to 90 day period, and notifies the borrower of either an award or any problems with the application. So before you tonight is not actual authority to issue the bonds. It's more of a agreement to continue looking at the deal and the project moving forward. The process is, if that approval is gained from the Indiana Housing Community Development Authority, we would come back for approval through an ordinance, which would have also, once the structure of the bonds is selected, would have documents that would go along with it to be approved as well. So you may have heard that these are industrial development bonds as an old term, or Mr. Chosnick said as a conduit deal. Really, the tax exempt status does two things. One, hopefully results in a lower borrowing rate for the borrower, but two, allows them to gain access to tax credit equity in the form of credits through Indiana Housing. So what that means for the city is, in name only are you on the bonds, there'll be a loan agreement between the issuer and Briarwood borrower that indemnifies, very clearly states that the borrower is responsible for the principal and interest payments of the bonds. And any indemnifications or costs that are associated with it are also borne by the borrower. So the bond proceeds and equity are going to fund the project. With me tonight from Briarwood and Glick companies is Colin Atkinson, who's the vice president of asset management for them, and as well as the property manager, Jamie Bush. So I'd like Colin to tell you a little bit about the project currently and what they're going to be doing as far as improvements.
Excuse me, before you go, will the city have any liability?
No. Let me expound upon the conduit status. So the bonds won't be payable from any taxes, general revenues of the city, solely from project revenues. It won't affect any, you might have heard, bank qualified status for sale of your own bonds. That doesn't get affected here. No constitutional debt limit effect as well.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
So Briarwood Lafayette was built in 1982.
Would you identify yourself?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Colin Atkinson with the G.B. Glick Company.
Okay.
Briarwood Lafayette was built in 1982. It's 100 units that serves families, seniors, individuals, and families. It's currently encumbered by a 100% HAP contract, so it is low-income housing already. It is one of those properties that the G.B. Glick Company built and currently still owns today. And we've got the management staff that upon this transaction will remain consistent, so nothing will change from that standpoint. Because it was built in 1982, we're going to be utilizing this process to improve the project, and some of those improvements include renovation and of the new. We'll have new roofs on it, patio fences, patio doors, and window replacements. In the interior unit renovations, we'll have new appliances, cabinets, countertops, in the kitchens and the baths, new flooring in kitchen and bath as well, and also interior lighting. And then we worked hand in hand with the police department to address some issues, some of their concerns as well. And the three concerns that came out of that was improving lighting behind the buildings, also replacing the existing lighting that is in the parking lot area and kind of the ornamental lighting throughout the property to LED lighting, and then adding 4 cameras to the to specific areas that the police department has identified. So, and we've been agreeable to make those changes and include those in our rehab budget as well. And the total cost for this on a per unit basis is about $35,000 per unit. So we're hopeful that this will definitely improve the lives of the affordable housing residents that we currently call our residents. So.
Anybody have any questions of this gentleman?
I guess my concern has to do with how long you're going to hold on to this piece of property, because I don't, as a council, I don't think we can lend the city's good name to your project if in 5 years, all our questions to you end up going to a post office box in the Grand Caymans or something.
Yeah.
We need to know you're going to be there.
Yeah. So one thing that's great about the G.B. Glick Company is because we did build the property. We have owned it since 1982. We will continue to own it. That's why we're investing this money into it. And per the tax credit guidelines, usually when you enter into a tax credit agreement like what we plan to enter into, it's a minimum of 15-year hold, typically. And our intent is, and I see this every day, is that we would like to preserve this affordable housing for much longer than the 15 years. So I don't see us going anywhere. So to answer your question.
Thank you. Welcome to Lafayette.
Yeah. Well, we own some other stuff here too. So.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Any members of the audience wish to question these folks about anything with regard to this? There being none, would the clerk then conduct a roll call vote on Resolution 2019-21?
Heidi.
Aye.
Clinker.
Aye.
Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Resolution passes 8-0.
Thank you. Reports of standing committees. Reports of special committees. Reports by the mayor. Miscellaneous and new business. Reports of councilmen. And with public comment. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Tisha Lee with the Tippecanoe Arts Federation. I'm here today to report on Wabash Walls, which has been a program supported in large part by the city of Lafayette since 2018. This year we wrapped up on August 2nd. We have a total of 52 murals that were done on the Wabash Avenue neighborhood. This initially started as a community engagement, placekeeping, and neighborhood revitalization program, and we thank Mayor Roswarski for his faith in the arts to help serve as a conduit to make this happen. We had tremendous community engagement. The participation, in large part because of the Wabash Avenue Neighborhood Association, allowed us to paint on both properties that were owned by the residents themselves as well as businesses that reside on the avenue. We'd also like to thank all of the city departments, in addition to the financial contribution that was put forward. Sanitation and Renew allowed us to paint their buildings. Parks allowed us to borrow one of the carts so that we could transport materials back and forth along the avenue. We also had facilities help unlock doors that we needed to have access to. And of course, the Lafayette Fire Department, who prepped our services for us, as well as Lafayette Police Department for allowing us to work in a very safe environment. Today, we can say that we've had hundreds and thousands of individuals come to the avenue. This particular program has been recognized on a global level. We have been asked to present about Wabash Walls to conferences nationwide. Recently, I received an invitation to present for the Burning Man conference that will happen later on in 2020. And I think that we really need to applaud the efforts of the community and the vision that this council has put forward to allow for something as innovative as Wabash Walls to take place. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. One more statement. I did receive notice today that in terms of the highest honor that arts organizations are given, we were awarded a grant by the National Endowment for the Arts for Wabash Walls.
All right, great.
Is there any other public comment?
Hey everyone, Alana Stonebreaker, 1509 Central. I just wanted to thank Cindy Murray for allowing us to use her Board of Works room for my class, which is the Citizens Academy, seeing stage right here, for letting us come in and for letting us come and observe your meeting today as well. So it's been great coming to talk to you and seeing our local government at work. So thank you all.
We thank you for all you've done down there. Thank you. Any other comments? Mr. Heidi?
I move to adjourn. Second.
All those in favor signify by